they just put like a little disclaimer, like first of all, our YouTube banner still second.
Or YouTube banner what?
Our YouTube banner says live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So I need to change that. And then we also need to like not have my headphones.
What wise pick did I win?
You won the. I have.
Why can't I remember? Lost the Vikings. Oh, the Pats.
Yeah. You don't know. You didn't realize because it could have easily been the difference.
Are we calling your Packers pick a push or a win?
I mean, I put money line.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that as a win.
We will give you the win then. Well, you put in the tweet, you put -1 and then in parentheses money line, which are two different things.
That is true. To be fair, I thought I put money line parentheses -1.
Did you bet it?
No, I didn't actually bet it.
Oh.
Yeah, so the judge, there needs to be some sort of jury. I guess we could discuss. Let's discuss live because we can get mad at each other.
Okay.
Right.
And then you had the Broncos.
Wise pick of all.
Down Broncos +45.
Still didn't cover.
Loss. And then what was the other one that you won? You had Seattle.
Yeah, it's Seattle, and I had the whoever was going to the Packers. I think the Packers should get it.
Right.
I mean, just because of I wrote. I had to do this. I figured both of ours were going to be winning. The Vikings was -1 as well, or +1 as well.
Wait, no. 2, 0, 1, 2, 1, 1.
I gotta figure out a way, Chris, where we can set up and say that we're live at 6:15, but not actually have us start yet. Just have like a picture or something.
Spreadsheet is updated.
All right, we're tweeted. Once we're up on Instagram, I'm ready to go.
Okay, you can go ahead and start, and I'll just do it as we do the intro.
All right, let's get started. 3, 2. Hello and welcome. Wise Guys Podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, Chris. Doing well. Coming on Sunday, I was not doing my finest, even with the Patriots win. I know we'll get to the team and we'll get into full details, but just know the past 2 days I've had to just like, even though it was a win, I just had to recover. I just think a lot about the state of the NFL and stuff we'll get into in this podcast. But I'm doing good. I've landed where I'm in a good spot.
That's good.
You
did tell me that if you were excited after the Jets game, that I was gonna have to talk you down. So I'm off the hook there.
Oh yeah, you're totally off the hook. There is no sort of excitement coming out of New England.
Oh, we're 1-2, not 0-3, so that's something. We'll
yeah,
get to that.
Yeah.
Actually, we can. You want us to just start with that if we're doing guys picks?
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna save it for later.
No. That's a good point. Let's do it now. We'll get into the wise picks. As Chris mentioned, do you know your record on the year?
do, because in my fancy spreadsheet, I'm
okay.
3-6.
All right, cool. So
You
Chris,
even looked at my spreadsheet. You just jot in your little journal there.
I'm old school.
I feel like
I'm old
I
school.
feel
You're
like the hot Kool-Aid guy.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I made this for you.
It's really what it is. And considering I've yet to open it actually. But
That hurts my.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna open it right now. As a matter of fact, to check it out. Well, last time I did that, it kind of like, oh yeah, see this, it's all messed up, and I like it in my notebook where I can just see it in front of me, count it out. But I guess
I'll
the
tweet it out.
Yeah.
If people like it.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. We should
Dynamic.
tweet this out. No, this is nice. That's real nice, Chris. All right. But anyways,
The table at the top is linked to the win-loss columns in the second table.
oh, it's genius.
You can play around with it if you want.
I love it.
Forecast like what record we need to get back to 500.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's go into the wise picks this week. We'll go in with your first win of the past 2 weeks, which is Patriots -2.5. I guess I'll just start. This game sucked yet again. It was another terrible Patriots-Jets game where the combined offensive yardage was right under 500. For reference, the Dolphins got 700 offensive yards alone.
All right, we can't
That's an
be
outlier.
using the
Yes,
Dolphins
I know. That's an outlier.
yeah.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm aware. That's not a measuring stick. That's a complete outlier. I understand. This game was so boring when you look at the the Google like spreadsheet, team stats, player overview, crap like that. The second video isn't even from the game. It goes full game recap. The second video, it says Jared McKinnon for 6. It was so boring. They put a different highlight from a different game and there's only 3 highlights. It's Jets almost Hail Mary, game recap, and Jared McKinnon for 6. That's horrendous.
I was gonna say, like, I didn't see a moment of this game on Sunday.
No, you saw the only moment you probably saw if you were watching Red Zone. You saw the Pharaoh Brown touchdown where he looks like
I did see that.
He almost slipped at the end, and I thought, like, I thought he wasn't gonna make it. But I guess shout out to Pharaoh Brown, who had
Cool name.
a really it was a cool name. He is a cool name. Ugh, right now. But anywho, terrible offensive performance yet again. Ramondre Stevenson stinks. Zeke was all right. And I guess what I was getting to at the beginning is I realized Mac Jones is he's just one out of the 27 of the same quarterbacks in the league. There's 25 of these guys.
Like Jimmy and
Yeah, Kirk
Tannehill.
and Dak and Tannehill and Geno, hell, Purdy, Baker, Carr, Goff. They're all the same. Ritter. For me,
there's some variance in there.
Yeah, okay, yes. They have different play styles.
But yes, point understood.
Yeah, as in like
Nothing special.
Nothing special at all. 15 for 29, 200 yards, and a touchdown is like the most Mac Jones stat line you could possibly get. And until I see them trade for Jerry Jeudy or number 1 wide receiver, I'm not going to expect
Really want Jeudy though?
I don't know. It's better than. Is he better than Juju? I mean, he's got to be, right? He's got to be better than Juju.
Yeah, probably. Like, I feel like he's not that much of a difference maker. I don't know. We haven't really seen him that much, to be completely honest.
That's true. That is true. It's just there's no playmakers on this team, and it's been the same thing. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of this, and it's finally broken me. I feel like it broke me. It probably broke me last year at some point, but this year it's early. I'm getting it out of the way, and I'm just not like the Pats. Have you seen the stats where it's like if they score 25 points, the Pats aren't going to win? Mac Jones is like one comeback in his whole career, and what the real bummer of this team is that the defense is Super Bowl caliber, and like that's not an understatement. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense. They have a ton of injuries, and they still. And I know they played the Jets. But like we saw the difference between the Dolphins of last week and the Dolphins of this week, and even though they didn't let 70 is a big number to let up, but it's not like they let Tyreek Hill go all over them like all these other teams have been doing, or A-Chain or Mostert. So, like, this defense is really good, and it's being wasted yet again by a terrible, terrible offense. That's where I stand. And I feel like this is the same.
Jets also have a good defense.
Yeah, but how many excuses are we going to need for Mac Jones? It was
Hey,
raining.
you don't need an excuse at all. You won.
I know, but
It's an ugly game, and you escape with a win. That's what your takeaway should be. I can't believe that I'm hitting the other side on you.
This happens every year, Chris. Every single year it happens. We've had this conversation before. It's like Groundhog Day.
It is like Groundhog Day.
Since Brady has left, every loss has felt like a win, and every win has felt like a loss. Maybe not every, of course, but for the most part, I'm coming here on Tuesdays mainly saying, man, we looked really good, but we couldn't put it through in the end. Or we look like shit and we somehow won this game. And now
I complain that
I complain. Yes,
the game,
exactly. Yes. Yep.
My team sucks.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
We have had this conversation. And I remember the Jets game last year with the punt return.
It was the same thing.
The same exact conversation.
Yes, we're having the same conversation, and it's all the same points I've been bringing up the past 4 years. That's why I'm so just so over all of this. I don't know if it means just give me a playmaker. I don't care if it's a quarterback. I don't care if it's a wide receiver. I don't care if it's a running back. Give me someone who's fun to watch. And it looks like Demario Douglas is that guy, but they can't find him. They can't
find him. Yeah, well, in that case, I don't know what to tell you.
A win's a win.
Probably going to look great against the Cowboys.
See, now it's like Cowboys. It's the worst position coming to the Cowboys next because they just lost to the Cardinals.
They're off a loss.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want the Eagles to lose last night.
But they look like they're pretty beaten. So maybe we're catching the Cowboys at the right time.
It depends on who's coming back on their line. I don't know how long-term those injuries are.
Yeah, their whole offensive line was completely flustered. Yeah. We'll get to that game later. That was an interesting game. All right. Let's go with one of my picks. Move on from the Pats. I'll go. Let's just get this over with maybe the worst Wise pick of all time. Chris on the Twitter.
No, not maybe.
It was the worst Wise pick of all time.
Although I think last year when the Vikings got rolled by the Cowboys, I think I gave out the Vikings. They got beat 40-3.
Oh yeah.
But I think the difference is larger here.
Yeah, by 50 points.
+6.
Yeah, so +6. And let me read. I want to bring up the text because, of course, yet again, we mess up on Friday. Well, Chris, no, you were traveling, yes?
Yeah. Well, and we were talking about doing Thursday, but you were dumped with schoolwork.
Yes.
So wise guys gotta stay wise.
That's true. We gotta stay in school.
But unfortunately, it came at the expense of something.
But at Sunday 9:30, we're doing our picks. Which is bad. We should not be advertising that we're doing it at 9:30, 3 hours before the game starts.
I was getting gas on the way.
Yeah. He's driving. I'm just waking up. But I put Broncos +6. I feel crazy, and you said no. I like it. So, and it was a stinky line.
I've seen worse screenshots online that was like, there's no way Sean Payton starts 0-3.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
it made sense.
Yeah, I was like, Sean Payton, they're gonna throw everything at the wall here. They're gonna make sure they do everything they can to go at least 1-2. Try to get Russell looking, and I also just saw the Dolphins and I guess the Patriots defense is better than we thought, but get stopped and slowed down. So I was like, maybe people are figuring it out, but.
And this was advertised as a good defense too.
Yes, the Broncos. Yeah,
I lost so much faith in my own team seeing this game. It's like, wow, we put up 35 against a good defense. It's like,
no,
you might not be a good defense.
If you had Red Zone on, you just watched the whole game. Every 2 seconds, the Dolphins were scoring again, and I'm sitting there. I'm actually this week a little behind the scenes of the life of the wise guy. I'm going to be doing some basketball coverage for the Daily Gamecock.
All right.
Yeah. So I was in that meeting, just like listening to all the things, and I had Red Zone up on my laptop because, of course, I wasn't gonna miss Red Zone. Like it's week 3. Like, come on now. This was week 15. Maybe I could miss a 1 p.m. Red Zone, but come on. And every time I look down on the screen, I'm like, how is this game back on? And how do the Dolphins, 1, have the ball again, and 2, how are they scoring? And it was Devon Achane, it was Raheem Mostert, hell, it was their backups too. Like there was nothing stopping this team. Chosen Anderson got a catch, a long ball touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this was not an NFL game. This was a college football game.
This is a clinic. Like an absolute clinic.
This is like when a SEC powerhouse schedules like one of the shitters.
Yeah, it's like Bama versus
like Ohio
Alabama.
State. Ohio State beat Youngstown State, I think it was, or Western Kentucky, 63-10. And like this was just as bad as that. And think about the talent differential between like big time college football programs and little college football teams. These are 2 NFL teams.
Professional teams.
Like I don't understand how this happens.
In this game, we had Raheem Mostert with, I think, 45 fantasy points, something like that. Devon Achane, I know, ended with 51, and Tyreek Hill, I'm sure, had like 35. It's insanity.
Tua only had like 28.
I know.
Tua threw 26 passes.
The best part about this, I think, is the Sean Payton aspect of it. I think he's the funniest character in the NFL right now. Because every time he says he opens his mouth, he immediately gets dunked on. Time and time again. Like, they were pulling up quotes. It was like halfway through the 4th because it was 70-20. And there's these quotes. Sean Payton last year saying Teddy Bridgewater is going to be playing for Tua. Tua's going to get benched. And it was like week 4 against the Broncos. Tua gets benched for Mike White, who also throws a touchdown and makes it 70. It's funny. He is just such a clown, and I'm actually rooting heavily for the Jets come 2 weeks. I hope Nat Hackett just like imagine he just throws like a 50 bomb on him. Zach Wilson 50 bomb.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It would be
that would be awesome.
It would be the gift that keeps on giving. Just watching getting obliterated over and over again.
I mean, I guess the good news if you're the Broncos is it literally can't get worse than this. Although,
why did they not
might
bench?
Be worse than this.
Why did they not bench Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I don't know.
They want him to die.
Malpractice.
Yeah, they want him to die. Like there was virtually no reason to start him in the second half.
Yeah. Well, it was a ball game.
It was 35-13.
Right, like you were.
Okay, yeah. You're not out of it. You're still playing. Yes, you're still playing the game. I agree.
But the 4th quarter, he should not have seen the field. He's 49-13.
No, we played every single snap.
And they scored 3 more touchdowns.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't even look real. Like looking at the scoring summary.
No, and you look at
it had
total yards 726 yards. They have more points.
3
than the Patriots
touchdowns
have all
of over
year.
50 plus yards. There's a couple teams like
8.
that.
There's 8 teams that they have more points than in 3 weeks.
Titans have scored 3 touchdowns all year.
Titans are sorry. I thought they were going to be better. I mean, it's
Tannehill. He just looks like Yuki.
He looks very. Okay, next pick.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was a complete ass whooping. But my bad.
It was a weird week.
Was it weird? My bad. I said my bad on that pick. my bad. Next up,
we can go.
You want
to go to the weirdest game of the week, probably the Vikings.
You knew that, but this one, everyone knew this was going to be weird.
Right. Yeah. So when you look at the box score for these games, and this is how both teams have been all season. Like you look at the numbers, and Herbert has like 400 yards and 90% completion rate, and they were one play away from losing this game. I think this doesn't make any sense. Like, how do they? I don't understand how they keep getting themselves in this spot. And Cousins, his numbers look great too.
Per usual.
Every interception he throws is like the worst possible timing to throw an interception. So if you miss the end of this game, it was back and forth the whole game. Chargers have the ball up 4, under 2 minutes left, and the Vikings have no timeouts. From their own 25, they go for it on 4th and 1. They get stuffed. What the hell are you doing? Am I crazy? Like,
No, that's ridiculous.
obviously, if they get it, you're having a different conversation. But I feel like either way, you got to trust your defense enough to punt that ball.
This is Staley every time, right? It's like he needs. I don't understand how. It's like he throws a dartboard of when to go for it on 4th down, because he used to be, analytical guy. He knows exactly when to go for it.
Used to be every 4th down.
Yeah, that's true. And now it's like you can't. How are these players supposed to know when they're going for it? How is like the team supposed to know when they're going for it? It seems like it's a flip of a coin. So yeah, that was ridiculous. And of course the Vikings don't capitalize on it.
Right. So yeah, Minnesota gets the ball back. They have basically first down, and then get in the end zone. And somehow they bleed the clock all the way down and don't spike it. And then in the pandemonium of them trying to get up to the ball, Cousins throws a pick in the end zone. It was just
why can't they spike
the most perfect. I don't know.
What was that about?
He has a mental block trying to spike the football. There was a game the year that they won the division in Washington. They were playing the Eagles in like a winner takes all game at the end of the year. And at the end of the first half, they get the ball up to like the 3-yard line, run up to spike it, and he just takes a knee. And they go on to win the game, of course. But it was probably the most shocking thing I've seen on a football field to that point. So I don't think he's capable of doing it for whatever reason. But yeah, you had under 20 seconds left, so like you couldn't even run 4 plays if you wanted to. You might as well spike it. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if that's the coach. Like, shouldn't he be yelling in his ear, like, spike the ball, spike the ball, spike the ball?
Yeah, I don't know why. And if the play call, like, if it's calling for a spike, to throw it to the end zone is always, like, no one's going to be prepared for that. If everyone's thinking it's going to be a spike. Or thinks it should be a spike.
It wasn't like a fake spike.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, I don't know. They clearly weren't ready for it, and
yes,
needed some time. Insanely weird game. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to be a 1-score game. And it's just, I mean, what do you do if you're the Vikings?
I don't know, like, you're done. Obviously, you could try to trade Kirk. There's been rumblings of that. I don't know if it's possible or not, but it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Like in a contract year.
Yeah, I mean, what team?
I mean, you're mailing in the rest of the season.
I saw the Packers, or no, not the Packers. The Jets were like the big get for possible Kirk Cousins. If it's not, I mean, the Jets. How much is Kirk? This is his last contract year. So I guess they would just have to take the cap hit for this year. So I guess it couldn't be too bad. But I guess maybe for the Vikings, why not? You're already 0-3. You're in a division. You're kind of in a race with the Bears at this point. If you know they're not gonna beat the Chiefs. They have a couple easy games coming, but they have the Niners, they have the Packers, Falcons, Saints. Like, they have some tough teams coming up. So I don't know. They're gonna look good against the Panthers next week, and it'll be interesting to see if they decide to do anything by the trade deadline.
I doubt they will.
No, this isn't the NBA.
That never happens.
No, this is in the NBA. All this stuff, like,
it's just fun to talk about.
Yeah, a team will start 0-3 every year, and there'll be a quarterback trade like this. Like, oh, could they possibly blow it up? And you're right, it doesn't happen. They're just gonna ride the ship. as best they can and try to win. They'll probably win 7, 8 games.
Yeah, right. And right, like 0-3 is pretty much a death sentence, but you never know.
No, it's still a weaker NFC.
It's not a terrible team.
No, it's definitely not a terrible team, and they really just got to get those divisional games. If they can sneak in, and if they get a home playoff game from the division, they can steal the division still. The Lions did not show me too much confidence, and the Packers barely squeaked out this last win. So,
yeah.
Speaking of which, we'll go to the Packers. I had the Packers. I mean, we had them. I had it -1. It was the spread. We did money line because for the Vikings because the spread was 1. So I assumed I was going with the money line. So we're cool with that. We're calling it a win for me.
That's all right.
All right.
I'm rooting for you. Victory. I don't root against you.
I appreciate it. Come from behind victory for the Green Bay Packers. And funny enough, Derek Carr was the reason the Saints lost this game, and it wasn't because of him. It was because he got injured. They really couldn't do anything after he got injured. Jameis did not look great, and they didn't score any points in the second half. So it was literally just like 3 and out, and just hopefully the Packers will score some points eventually. And come enough tries, the Packers puts them in the end zone and figured it out.
All in the fourth quarter.
All in the fourth quarter.
This game was 17-0 after 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that'll ruin your week.
Yeah, if you're a Saints fan, you're really not happy. This is Falcons level of choke.
Yes.
This is a big time choke.
Not good. So what happened to Carr? Like, where was Carr's injury?
Looked like it was like, I thought it was his ankle or something. Slammed on the ground, sacked by Rashawn Gary. Concerning injury. Because it didn't say. It was his calf. Or no?
Calf, okay. There's a sprained AC joint.
What is an AC? Any idea?
Looking it up.
Oh, good old Google.
Joint in the shoulder where 2 bones meet.
Oh, so he got slammed and hit his shoulder. Okay.
Yeah.
AC joint.
Where do you see calf?
Where
did you see calf?
No, I hate to admit, I saw half and I thought it was calf. Well, I was just jumping the gun. I'm not gonna lie. Without their running back, they have Alvin Kamara coming, so that'll help boost their run game, which is in desperate need. Without Williams this week, Kondre Miller and Tony Jones were terrible. They really couldn't get anything on the ground. Their passing attack is still pretty good though. Rashid Shaheed got no catches. I don't know if he didn't get any targets or anything, but that was surprising to me. It seems like he's a good weapon for them that they need to be looking towards. Jimmy Graham got a touchdown. I don't know.
I saw that and I was like, "What? He's still in the league? Back on the Saints?"
Yep. Still in the league, back on the Saints.
I saw it's his first catch of the year.
Yeah.
It's 1 catch and it's a touchdown.
He's an efficient player.
Yeah, that is cool to see. Like, he was on the Packers, wasn't he, for a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so.
Bench game.
But the Packers, on the other hand, they don't have a running attack, and they couldn't run very much this
year. But Aaron Jones is out.
Yes, Aaron Jones is out. AJ Dillon has not been good this year, and they couldn't really run the ball. They were down 17-0 the whole game. But they got life out of Romeo Doubs. Their rookie Jalen Reed and Luke Musgrave look like reliable pass catchers, and like these guys are coming out of nowhere. I remember we were looking at the Packers depth chart multiple times this offseason, talking about how these guys are coming out of nowhere, and they played decent enough for this comeback. So maybe
they should have Watson coming back soon too.
Say,
I just saw for fantasy.
The Packers could be on the up.
Hey, like this team, both of these teams are really similar in the sense that like they're winning games, but I'm really scared of them. Like, are they impressing me? Not really.
Mm-hmm.
These teams both seem like make the playoffs and then quick first round bounce.
I'd agree.
That's my week 3 prediction.
Yeah, I'd agree for either.
Like, Jordan Love has been fine.
Solid
done-
even.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Not MVP.
No, definitely not.
Not quite.
Close, not there.
Done just enough.
Yeah.
So, they should be 3-0. Although, I guess if kind of traded back for a comeback.
Yeah,
This week
1
you were
point
the one
loss for a
blowing
1
it,
point
where-
loss. Completely just flipped the script the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, never mind. 2-1's fair.
Yeah, I think they're right where they should be. Your last pick for the week was Monday night, Eagles, Bucks. You just love the Bucks. Just love Baker. Actually, no,
Well,
you had the Bears last week, so you don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. I'm in shambles right now. My thinking on this one was the Eagles hadn't looked great either side of the ball. Like, Vikings were able to move the ball consistently against them. And I figured with pass catchers that the Bucks had, they'd be able to keep up with them, even if Baker wasn't awesome. And they have a better run defense than Minnesota, so the Eagles wouldn't just be able to run all over them. I didn't think they were going to win. I thought it was going to be very close, though. And it was not. The Bucks offense is just not very good.
It's funny.
I didn't really account for the difference in offensive line.
Yeah.
The Eagles against a bad offensive line, they're just going to feast every time. And that's exactly what happened. Bucks also have no rushing attack.
Everything you said on the justification front was complete opposite of what happened in the game. It was just you just misfired. The run defense was terrible for the
Eagles ran for 200 yards.
Yeah, the run defense was terrible. Baker couldn't do anything with his playmakers. And you're right. I think the biggest aspect of this was the defensive line for the Eagles, and it shows that they can really feast on these terrible offensive lines. They're just so good, man. Jordan Davis.
They're just bigger than everyone.
Yeah,
on both sides.
Carter, they still have Fletcher Cox. Like, these guys, they have multiple people. Brandon Graham that'll just maul.
They have like 2 waves of studs on defense.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like they have for 5 years now, because the Super Bowl team was the same exact way. They had like 7 or 8 guys on the front.
Yep.
Or not only starter caliber, but like half of them are Pro Bowlers.
So this game put a lot of discussion again onto the push play of the QB sneak, and it was the first time I had the conversation in my head of maybe this could be banned, and I could see why people would want this to be banned, but I still don't see, just find a way to stop it.
Well, and they got stopped.
Yeah, they got stopped once.
Weren't perfect tonight.
No, but then they did it again immediately. And that's, I guess, what you could. I would say, maybe you could ban this because they could just keep doing this over and over again. But they only have 4 downs. Do it.
Yeah, and it has to be on a 4th and 1.
Yeah, or a 3rd and 1.
Not not going to run it on when they have 2 yards to get.
And
so
my mindset is too, on 4th and inches and goal line and inches, you're gonna a good team should get that 99% of the time anyways, right?
That's right. Yeah. At short
of
distance, you should be able to man up and get it.
Yeah, you should be able to get an inch.
That's just the way it is.
You
know when the ball is going to be snapped. The defense doesn't. Yep. You should be able to get the push.
Yeah.
They're also just way bigger than you. Sucks.
And I also don't
bigger guys.
But I don't think this has to do I don't think this is a Hurts thing. Mac, they do it with Mac. They've done it with Mac this year.
Yeah.
And it's worked. I think any quarterback could really do this as long as they're over, they're not Bryce Young out there. I think if
no, I'm saying the line.
Oh, yeah,
they have the biggest and best offensive line in all football. Yeah, that's why it works so well for them.
Yeah, and that's why DeAndre Swift is running 100 yards a game.
Yeah, right. So, just build a better team. It's not like other teams can't do it.
That, yes, exactly.
Everyone can do it if they want to do it.
And they always say it the Eagles push play. Yeah, it's they.
Yeah, right. And it's
yeah, but everyone
can watch it on film and then you could do it.
Yep. Or figure
I don't understand.
Or figure out how to try to stop it by watching the film.
Yeah, right.
So it doesn't make any sense to me why people have such an issue with it.
People
like
get
it's
like
because it's not
really
fair.
angry too. Yeah, they're like, "This isn't rugby."
No,
It's
it's like what?
you're right. It's not rugby. It's a perfectly fair play in football. All right. So that game was just a complete bust for you.
Yes, that Eagles
My
still didn't look great though.
What, the Eagles? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And what Hurts? This was like the flu game for Hurts, right? He had those two. That first pick was real bad, almost a pick six. Of course, the Bucks, they only got a field goal off of it, but the that first one looked really bad. I didn't see the second one, but the first one.
the first one was the miscommunication, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see the second one either. I watching the Bengals at that point, I guess.
Yeah, that game was boring. Over. All right. Seahawks -4.5 against the Panthers. Panthers are they actually throwing the ball with Andy Dalton, but
Well, yeah, Dalton looked a lot more competent than Bryce Young did.
Yeah, Bryce Young just like I feel like he's just a little deer in the headlights. You know, he's just a little like they just kind of threw him out there. Maybe they should have started Dalton the whole time. And I think this ankle injury. I'm sure he got injured. Like I'm not gonna say like he didn't get injured, but I'm sure they're also like, let's use these couple weeks to have Andy Dalton play for a little bit. Let Bryce watch some more film.
Yeah.
They can't run the football though.
Why are they throwing the ball 58 times?
Because they can't run the football.
I thought Sanders was decent the first 2 weeks.
I know. I don't. He was decent, and he's had a decent fantasy output so far. But this week was only because of the touchdown. And I don't know if you can't run on the Seahawks though, you really have some issues. So that's really concerning for me.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't pick up Adam Thielen in fantasy. That's another note I'll add to this.
I mean, anything about the Seahawks? Kenneth Walker looked amazing. DK's back.
Yeah, I mean,
he knows not to pump.
I guess they're more like the version of last year.
Yeah, I think they
can't say I expected them to look this good again, but I have props to Geno. And yeah, Walker picked up right where he left off last year.
Yeah,
he's been awesome.
Phenomenal. All right, those are all of the wise picks this week, and now we're just gonna go. We want to start with the Commanders. I mean, we talked a lot of Pats, so you know, you want me? How about let me say something first.
Right.
I think the Bills are just a better team, and I think that's okay.
Oh yeah, no shit.
I think that's all right. Like I think this was just kind of a game from hell for Sam Howell. He started off poorly. It just kept getting worse, and I think you just throw this away and you go back to the drawing board. Come next
week. I would be okay with that if they didn't have the Eagles next week, because everything that went wrong in this game
will probably go wrong against the Eagles.
Absolutely happen again next week. Like the combination of having one of the worst lines in football coupled with the worst quarterback at getting out of pressure situations and then facing another good defensive line is not good.
Yeah, it's not a good combo. When Sam Howell gets pressure,
he
wins. When he gets pressure,
I feel
he
like
wins.
Don't say that, please.
Okay, I'll
please don't say that.
He
can move at least. Like he tries. Wentz would just go down.
That's true. Yeah, he thinks he's white Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, which at times he is. Like he has some good runs. He had a good run yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know what to think about, like, is it just a game that you throw away, or is this like bound to happen and it's regressing to the mean? And I guess I'm okay with not knowing that because it's a long season, but it really sucked It did move the ball a little bit. It's just every time they were threatening to score, he threw an interception
Okay.
or took a sack, and
Also,
then
what is up with down 14 nothing? 10 oh, what is it? Maybe it was 16 nothing
hmm,
and they just don't kick a field goal?
what do you mean?
It was 16 nothing. End of the second half.
And they're at the
end of
goal
first
line?
half. Yeah, I think they're at the goal line. Just take the points.
Dude, I don't know. It should have been that was at 10-0 actually. It should have been 10-6 because their second or third drive of the game, they drove right down and then took a sack. They're in the red zone. He takes a sack that puts them like they're still in field goal range, and then there's a pick. And I don't know why they just didn't run the ball 3 times. Like for the second week in a row, went into halftime having ran the ball like 5 times, which is so frustrating. And then they come out in the second half and just run, and move right down the field. He throws a pick, but I don't know why they don't rely more on Brian Robinson, especially with that weather.
13 carries for the whole game is ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. And this game was an ass kicking. It was 16-0 going in the fourth quarter. It was never like unreachable until the last drive or the last quarter. You went into halftime not feeling good, but it was a ball game.
Yeah, it was possible.
So
the 2-possession game.
I don't know why they refuse to run the ball, but it's going to be the death of me. It's been every week so far. And then they'll come out the first drive of the third quarter and they run straight down the field. So maybe that would take a little pressure off. Or maybe you utilize the screen game like you did last week so that doesn't have to wait for his receivers to get open and he can just get rid of the ball. Like maybe that'll help a guy who doesn't handle pressure well.
It is also in his 4th career start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So I'm looking at Bieniemy as a main culprit. Not as it's not like his fault. Like it was awful. The line is awful, but
have been in a better position.
Exactly. You have to play with the cards that you're dealt.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be something to watch this week. Just get the freaking ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. They won't be able to run the ball against the Eagles, which sucks.
No, they're not going to. But they should try. They should try.
They should at least try.
Oh, yeah,
but just get Terry, Dotson, and Curtis in space. That's why you have these guys.
They'll figure it out. I don't think it'll be.
No,
next week.
I don't know. I don't know if they will.
Oh, come on! Come the Bears week, you guys will be fine. Thursday night and the Bears, you're gonna be.
Lose the Bears. Oh my god.
You're not gonna lose the Bears. Calm down. You really think it's
You're
possible?
right. It's all right. Yeah, of course.
Okay, nah. Let me cheer you up. Because coming up, you have.
If I didn't get my hopes up so much,
don't
then
know
this
why
would have
you
been
did.
fine.
I don't know why you did.
I don't know why I did either. I almost sent out a Twitter poll. It was like, should I get my hopes up?
Everyone would have said
I just did
no.
it. That's the root of the problem is that I convinced myself that they're better than they are.
It's always the
worst. I just went in expecting to lose and hoping to look good. I would be disappointed. I would be like, all right, whatever. It didn't go well, but no. Not a great team anyway. Just looking to grow.
All right, but after the Eagles game, you got the Bears, you got the Falcons, you got the Giants, you have my poopy Patriots team, the Giants again after the Seahawks and the Eagles. Then you have the Jets. Come on, you'll be fine.
All right, yeah, that's good. I just hope the same thing can't happen this weekend. There has to be some sort of adjustment because you're playing the same team.
Gotta score a touchdown. Gotta score a touchdown.
Gotta score a touchdown.
Just at least one.
The defense was not bad, honestly.
No, they
Like, the
literally-
Bills moved the ball, but they held them to field goals for the most part until the fourth quarter. But there was one pick six, and then like just throw the fourth quarter away.
Yeah, I mean, Howell literally just kept throwing him the ball, so it was. And
I think three of the or no, two were in the first half.
I want to apologize. By
Yeah,
the way,
see,
for calling him for being mean on Twitter during.
you were mean, yeah.
It was mean. He just, I mean, like it wasn't like it was so the pass was so egregious where it was just like, oh man, and like
It really was.
they were all just
It was
like,
like,
oh,
dude, are you kidding me?
oh god,
Like, what are we doing?
yeah.
Not that hard to not throw it.
No, and there, I gotta admit though, there were a couple where Howell threw it and the guy just like, yoink. It's just like, oh no, it's like the guy just, he didn't see him come up right at the end. You guys will. Of course, I see some touchdowns coming. Don't worry.
I hope so. Like, if we played the Bears this week, it would be so much better. But the fact that we have to go play the Eagles really sucks. Like, I can't believe they're only 7-point underdogs.
That is surprising. Look, I had a similar situation where the Pats.
Oh, it's
played the
8.5
Eagles and
now.
then the
That
Dolphins,
makes more
so it's
sense.
like after one loss, it's like, all right, well, we're just gonna lose next week too. So
Yeah, but you kept the one. You kept it close though.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't get. Yeah.
Lose by 34. I will also say, like, having the other blowouts this week and having the Cowboys game made it way better.
Oh yeah, no one even talked
So
about.
at least we didn't give up 70.
Yeah. No one even talked about the Bills Commanders
No
game.
one made a peep.
Literally, besides the Chargers Vikings, for some of it, maybe not even a lot. The only thing anyone talked about at 1 p.m. was the Dolphins smacking the Broncos. It's the only thing people discussed.
Yeah, it was like the third worst loss of the day.
And honestly, like, everyone was talking about the Dolphins Broncos because all these other games were kind of crap. Packers Saints we talked about was a snooze.
Oh, they were horrible.
I know it was
Browns
bad.
game.
Browns game sucked.
Our Titans.
Yeah, our Titans.
We'll something's up. Something's up.
I was talking about this with my roommate today, and Hopkins has just got to feel like a complete fool. Like, he's stuck playing with Tannehill, Levis, and Malik Willis, and he could have been playing on the Chiefs. Hell, he could be playing on the Pats, been the number one receiver. Any of these teams, and he's stuck with these clowns. Yeah, they just can't move the ball. I know the Browns defense is great; it's phenomenal. So they have been playing some good defenses, but look, you got to play with the people in front of you, and those they got whopped.
I know Tannehill's not a world beater, but I thought he was okay.
Okay, can we
when we make our tier list, we throw him in like the Jimmy G and Kirk Cousins tier. He's way worse than that right now.
Yeah, he's fallen off real bad.
And I don't know if Henry's fallen off too, or it's just the product of the rest of the offense being bad. But he's had the worst start to the season that he's had in like 6 years.
Normally, it seems in times like this where everything's shutting down at once that the offensive line is mostly to blame. Come this, like when it's an offensive disaster like this, where they have 94 yards the whole game. 94 yards the whole game is impressive.
It's pitiful.
It's impressively bad.
It's like disgusting. Myles Garrett had 3.5 sacks.
Yeah, that's bad.
He like
if the Browns could
he is a top 3 edge rusher in the league, but
oh yeah,
still.
For sure. If they can figure out an offense that's consistent, they could finally be poised for the Super Bowl that everyone's.
Amari Cooper finally had a good game.
Yeah, he did have a good.
He was good last week, but the end zone.
All right, there's nothing much else to add to that game. Do we have to talk about the? I mean, the Falcons Lions game was also another poopy game. It just seems like two good offenses that neither of them could get going. Like neither of them really wanted to win this game. It felt like.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions scored a touchdown.
What?
So the Lions got in the end zone.
Yeah, they got in the end zone twice. Yeah, the Falcons didn't. The
So
I get yeah.
this
but
was
it's
kind
not
of
like
like
they
a.
looked really good either. I didn't think they looked great.
Oh, they didn't, but it took like Atlanta. We've been hyping up 2 weeks now. Like,
Yeah, they
oh,
look
like this
bad.
team is, they're not flashy. Arthur Smith is not going to give the ball to his best players for some reason.
Yeah, no,
They're going to
God
find ways to
forbid-
win games.
God forbid Drake London can be consistent.
10 carries. I mean, Pitts had 5 catches, which is the most that he's had in a while.
I think it's the most I've ever seen him have.
I
On the Lions side, this Sam Laporta guy, he's like Gronk.
should have picked him up too.
All of a sudden, he's like rostered.
Almost did.
He's rostered and starting in like every fantasy league.
Yeah.
And it's like within 2 weeks, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy's like really good. Okay.
And I had the chance too because I had Kelsey out week 1. I could have just grabbed him then. Swing and a miss there. Also, I think this Lions defense is solid. I think for whatever reason, the Hawks are their kryptonite.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think this week's version of the Lions is more similar to last week's. Weeks 1 and 3, they played pretty similar games where
Oh yeah.
they're not gonna wow you offensively, but they're gonna do just enough.
Yeah, and this is all. That's actually a good point. It felt like forever ago they played this Chiefs game because it was the first game of the season,
Yeah.
and this is all the stuff that we were talking about at the end of that Chiefs game that they did right and that they will most likely want to keep consistent with their team, and that was play like they. I mentioned this after that Chiefs game. They played their type of game where like they held, they made the Falcons have all the pressure on the Falcons and all the defense on the Falcons. Where, yeah, so they didn't have to score a bunch of points, I guess, but they didn't look fantastic. But I guess a win's a win. All right, let's run through a couple of these. Surprising upset of the day was Texans Jaguars. CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ Stroud is just good.
He's the best rookie by far.
Yeah, I mean, he's just good. He knows. It seems like he's not really. He doesn't look flustered, you know. A lot of these rookie quarterbacks look flustered and worried. He looks very calm in the pocket. He looks like he loves his wide receiver Tank Dell, your boy.
Yeah, Tank Dell. He's starting this week.
He should start. He should be a must start. And they like sneakily have an exciting team. Not a good team, but an exciting team.
They're one that's like be a trendy pick next year to make some noise.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna talk on the Jaguars side. They're 1-2. Everyone's like saying, "Oh, we were wrong about the Jags. We were wrong about the Jags." I'm gonna say pump the brakes. Pump the brakes for a moment. It's week 3. They're one of these upsets. It's a divisional game, so it's gonna be weird. Weird things are gonna happen, and I know the Texans just looked better the whole time, but I think this Jags team's just gonna have one of those games, and I don't think that means that they're bad all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, it's concerning because it's 2 weeks in a row
fact
where the
that-
offense looked lackluster.
Right. And that at least the Chiefs, you could make the argument of there's no way they're going 0-2. They had Chris Jones coming back. Houston has no one on defense that scares you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely concerning. But right, it's early enough. This would have been the Texans Super Bowl.
Yep.
Playing against the so-called best team in the division. It's early in the season, have nothing to lose, which plays their advantage. The Jags, the pressure's on.
Jags lost last year to the Colts on October 16th. And to the Texans the week before. They lost both of those games. So Like and hell, I'm looking at it last year. They lost from Eagles 5 games in a row. They still made the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
they
won a
sucked
playoff
last
game.
year.
Yeah, and they won a playoff game. So let's pump the brakes on the Jags. It's still early in the season. They're going to be just fine. I'm not worried about them.
This whole division is like 4 teams that you have no idea what to think about, I feel like.
No, all these teams could go either way, where they could be really, really bad or really, really good. I don't think the Jags could be really, really bad, but I think all the other teams could be horrendous or like sneaky. And I think the Jags are
It
the
just depends
opposite,
on the
where it's
week.
like they could be either mediocre or really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the week, and it definitely depends on who they're playing. If they're playing another AFC South, it's gonna be a grudge match.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see this with all these AFC North, all the divisions, all these guys. Whenever they face each other, it's chaos. Ravens Colts, not a good look for the Ravens. Are back to they're in midseason form. They are injured.
They are, yeah.
Beyond belief. I tweeted out
How I was talking about this with my roommates earlier, and it's like, how do they just not have a different training staff? How do they not fire whoever's in charge of that?
and like of course
Not that it necessarily would make a
yeah,
difference,
I was
but
gonna
like
say, not that it would make 1,000% of a difference, but it's just ridiculous.
every year.
Every single year, these guys are made of glass. The Odell is already out with an ankle injury. Bateman has
Yeah,
played
he's
like
done.
2 snaps this season. Zay Flowers is actually their best wide receiver, probably their best draft pick, and maybe the only competent offensive weapon on the team,
Andrews.
and besides Andrews. But it's like we're back to square one here. We're running with Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake yet again. These guys, it's like a recycling plant. The Ravens are just a recycling plant for old garbage running backs.
Yeah, literally. Like, I would just be in shambles if I was a Ravens fan.
I would just
Because
be
you
so
just have to
tired
deal
of
with the
this
same
crap.
stuff
Yeah,
again.
I'd just be so
No.
tired of this crap. What do they have next week? They're gonna
Browns?
Yeah, they got the Browns next week. If the Browns put up any offensive competence, they could be in some trouble.
They always beat the Browns.
Yeah, they own the Browns. They literally are the Browns, so they should.
They are the Browns.
I think this is another kind of like I was talking about the Jaguars. They are a little more injured though, so it could be a little more worrisome. But I think they just Colts caught them at the right week. And speaking of which, the Colts are the Ravens, so within that mindset, they should always beat the Ravens, right?
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
Bears
If
Chiefs.
that works.
Did you know that Taylor Swift was at this game?
Really?
Yeah, Taylor Swift is.
Why?
Because she's dating Travis Kelce.
Is she really?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I will say, I've watched the clip of them walking out of the stadium probably like 15 times. And I don't know why. Like, it just keeps popping up on my feed. But I watch it every time. I don't know why.
I
have to look at all the Taylor Swift stuff.
I have like a
Even though I don't care.
I have like a simple philosophy with this, and I'm just gonna put it like, I think you're an idiot if you care too much, and I think if you're like there's so many people on the internet that are like haters, like this is ruining my football, like get all this Taylor Swift out of here. It's like you're also a loser. Like just what I like about it is that it's getting a different audience into football. Cool. That's great. If that's what it does and people are excited to watch football because Taylor Swift is there, great. And that's really
Literally doesn't affect you.
No, not at all.
Whatsoever.
I will say though, Ian Rappaport is a freaking
weirdo. Schefter tweeted it too.
Yeah, no, but like, did you see
Rappaport
Ian Rappaport tweet out? He tweeted out. He was like, "Can we get a all-time cam on Taylor Swift? Who says no?" It's like, Jesus, Ian, relax over there. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, really.
As if they didn't put the camera on her enough. pretty funny.
Live. All right. All right. Live feed of Taylor Swift just watching the game, comma. Who says no? What? Don't you have a wife and kids, bro? Like that is weird. That is weird as hell.
Yeah, if it was like one of the big Swifty accounts, it'd be one thing. But Ian Rappaport,
Yeah.
who should be watching the football
That's what
game,
I'm
by the
saying.
way.
Why does he? Those are his clients,
It's
are they
his
not?
job.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's really funny.
Also, this was an ass whooping game wise.
Yeah. Did you see Big Cat tweeted out? He's like, the Bears are literally the team where you invite your girlfriend to come watch because you know that they're gonna kick their ass.
Also, the Bears. Let's just talk about the Chicago Bears for a second. Chicago Bears are facing a team that lost by 50 points next week. They are 3-point underdogs.
They're home dogs. They're home.
That has got to be the biggest insult in NFL history. That is just like
it's warranted. Like I don't think they're gonna win.
No, I wouldn't bet on it. Why would I bet +3? There's nothing that makes me want to bet that.
Justin Fields in
Is
a
this
game
the
where
lowest low
he
of
had
any-
to throw the whole game for 99 yards.
Is this the lowest low of any like sports franchise?
I don't know, dude. It could get worse.
These fans are like devastated, and rightfully so. Like these guys have been through it all, and now, like Justin Fields is just like you're cooked, buddy. Pack your bags. It's XFL time, bud.
Yeah, he sucks.
They're awful. I can't believe this team beat the Patriots last year. This team is so
What, like
bad.
12 months ago?
It doesn't even
They haven't
matter.
won a game since last October.
It was the Pats game. Their last win was against the Pats. Fucking ridiculous. And they were a worse team. You
know.
think so?
I mean, it just looked atrociously awful.
I'm calling it right now. Their next win is against the Raiders on October 27th. That would be the only.
Yeah, look
time.
at their schedule.
I mean, face the Broncos.
Yeah.
It's you guys.
They could beat the Vikings just because. They could beat the Chargers.
They could definitely beat the Chargers. That's a lot.
Oh, Panthers Bears is a primetime
I
game.
I just saw that too.
Oh my gosh.
Literally the battle of the first pick. Bears Vikings.
that's
also
what
prime time. I think
week
that's,
is.
Is that Thanksgiving?
I hope not.
No. I don't think that's no, it's not. It's Sunday night. Sunday night, Bears Vikings.
No way.
Yeah.
Is that a flexible game?
It's got to be November 27th. It's got to be flexible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we won't have to see that.
They just flex it out now.
People were saying they should flex out Broncos Bears to like 2 a.m.
Send them to London.
They should let those
It's a real
players
treat
drink.
for you guys.
They should let those players
Huh?
drink before the game. Just go in the locker room, like, here's 3 bottles of Hennessy. Go out there and have fun. Okay. Any games that we missed? Rams, Chiefs, Steelers, Raiders. Oh, Cowboys.
Wait. All right. Yeah, there are a bunch of things to talk about there.
Yeah, there are, but I mean, is there
Start
really
with
stuff
the
to talk about
Cowboys.
for Raiders, Steelers?
Both the fourth down.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Um,
Anyways, Cowboys, Cardinals. Cardinals get the first win of the season. Cowboys weak from hell. It seemed like they lose Trayvon Diggs beginning of the week. They lose like all of their offensive linemen, and they got handed to them by the worst team in the league.
Are the Cardinals the worst team in the league? Like they've played. This is the third week in a row that they've played a team close.
No, they're definitely not.
They can't possibly be worse than the Bears.
No, maybe even the Broncos.
They're probably better than the Broncos. Probably better than the Panthers. This team is okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think like they're 3-0 with Kyler Murray. Saying.
You think?
I mean, come on. They don't blow that
Hobson's,
Giants game.
Hobson's been all right.
They don't blow that Giant. Yeah, he's been all right, but he's been 189 yards, 1 touchdown. All right. And like that's good enough for what they need right now, and he's got some work on the ground, and that's good enough for what they need and what they want to do. But I think Kyler Murray's like becoming really underrated, and they're in, as you said.
Are we doing this? Are we like?
I think he's
Like we
underrated, but
hated
also-
on him for the last 3 years, and now we're gonna go back on that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, like, did it take the Cardinals losing games but looking okay? It doesn't really make sense.
Okay, all
And
right,
now
all right,
we're
all
gonna be like,
Maybe-
all right, Kyler Murray's actually pretty
Yeah, but I think they win. Like I think they're 3-0. They beat you guys. I'll tell you that. Beat the Commanders with Kyler Murray. They take care of business against the Giants, and then they just beat the Cowboys without him. All right, maybe he's not getting overrated, but with this team right now, on what I'm watching, is that they should be 3-0 with Kyler Murray.
good. Perhaps.
And it could also be, but this could also be a thing of leadership, of some intangibles we don't think about when Josh Dobbs is out there compared to when Kyler Murray's out there. So who knows? But
Coaching's also different.
yep, the coach is
Gannon.
different. Yeah, I'm sure he inspires a ton out of Kyler Murray.
Is he coming back or not?
I think so.
It should be fairly soon, right?
No, I think it's got to be like probably week 7-ish. They said soon.
It's fairly soon.
They said soon. So I guess soon is what it is.
Apparently, he's itching to get back.
He made a TikTok about it. He said, "You never know how much you missed a game until you can't play it anymore." So I'm in.
What
After
was
that
it?
TikTok, I'm in. It's just him.
What was the
doing,
James quote?
Oh yeah.
I thought my love was football. But then when I was out, I realized my love is playing football.
All-time quote. Absolutely. Right.
He's back.
He is back. He's starting next week. So.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a revenge game against the Bucks. All right. Steelers, Raiders.
I feel like the Kenny Pickett takes were not good. He doesn't look like it. It's like they're winning.
You know what he looks like? He looks like everyone else.
That's true. Yeah, just throw him in there with Mac.
He looks just like everyone else. I think we should do this now. Because I don't really care. Unless you want to... Do you want to talk about that 4th down real quick? Or the Rams-Bengals at all? Like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he kicked a field goal.
Yeah, so to kick a
That
field goal...
seemed insane to me.
To go from a 1-score game to a 1-score game is the biggest bonehead move in sports.
Worst case scenario, you were in the same exact situation you were. Just needed a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you tie the game. So that was appalling.
Really
Josh McDaniels expected it because they did it twice. Tried to kick a field goal and then the Steelers took a penalty. It was like, who could lose this game?
Oh man. Or Devontae Adams. Get him on the Pats.
No.
Hearing some things about some trade rumor type things. Get him on the Pats.
I didn't even see his numbers. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, he's phenomenal. And Jacoby Myers is playing well too. What's really weird to me is Hunter Renfrow is just like disappearing from the NFL.
Yeah, just must not be a Jimmy G guy.
No, it kind of happened last year too. So maybe it's just not a McDaniels guy. But it seems like a perfect McDaniels guy, right? Slot white guy. Seems like perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. This is a
Also
weird
saw
team. Terrible
it's a weird
defense.
team.
Steelers not a good offense though. I don't know how to feel about
The rushing the roughing the passer. Do you think that was roughing the passer? Like
Oh.
no one plan I'm talking about.
No, let me remind myself.
It was not roughing the passer. Answer. I guess like it doesn't really matter because it didn't affect the game they won anyway, but it was a soft call.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. The picture is Minka Fitzpatrick is hugging him. Give him a nice wrap up. hands are literally touching on the other side. I can see why they called it pass or roughing
I
the
mean, the
passer, though.
helmet's hit, but
Yes,
like that's not the
why.
rule.
It's the rule basically. It might as well be the rule. That's
If you touch their helmet, then
Yes.
it's roughing the passer.
yes.
I guess
That's like if you hit someone's face mask and like
that should be enforced on every tackle. Then it shouldn't just be the passer.
That's not how this NFL works.
I
They don't care about anyone besides the pretty boys who make all the money. So
Garoppolo also, I thought, was done for the year earlier in the game. He went down really funky.
yeah, is he in concussion
Just came
protocol?
back in. I was like, oh, okay. No, it was his legs I was worried about. It's like, here we go again. Poor guy's gonna miss another season, but then he was fine.
It seems like every time he gets sacked, I feel like he's getting done for the season.
Yeah.
All right.
They need to figure out Josh Jacobs. You need him going.
Yeah, they just need some sort of they can't get him going at all. They have Adams going. That's going great, but that and the defense, the running game and the defense is very poor. Okay. Bengals Rams. Let's wrap this up. I didn't watch this game. From what I'm seeing, bro is injured to hell. Like he is not right.
I don't know why they let him play tonight. Last
They
night.
had to win.
No, but like he should not have been playing. I don't think he should be playing at all this season so far. If you sit him out the first 2 or 3 games, this probably isn't even an issue.
That's what I was gonna say. He should be gearing up for the Titans game as his debut.
Yes.
Or the Cardinals game. Hell.
Worst case scenario, you're 0-3, but like, just sign him to the richest deal in NFL history.
Yeah, let's not get him destroyed.
Tough, right? Yes, it would be a bummer if he started 0-3 and didn't make the playoffs this year. But at the same time, like you got to think long term. So their defense looked really good.
Well, and I don't know
weird.
what like, and I guess we should have talked about this week 1, but now it's like really clear that like he is injured and like this is not just like a defense thing. It's not just like a 1 week thing. But if you're the Bengals staff, clearly you see some of these issues in practice. And
I don't think he practices that much.
So how could you possibly put him against this Bengals or this Browns front in week 1? Or Aaron Donald in week 3?
Seems very obvious.
Yeah. I hope they find it going because I love watching all these guys play, and it's like if you're watching a TV show and it's just the writers change, and it's like it's all the same actors out there, but it's just not as good. That's what this Bengals team has been so far, and I know they won.
Literally.
So they had a good game.
They won because of their defense.
Yeah, they won on the defense.
They were in Matt Stafford's face all night.
Yeah, he had no protection whatsoever.
Bad.
All right, let's do the quarterbacks. I wrote down 8 quarterbacks that matter, and 3. I might add a couple more. Now, right now, it's just 3 that are promising, and then with some degree, some variations, the rest are pretty much the same.
What are we doing here?
It's not like a tier rankings. It's just like because it's not specific. It's just like the quarterbacks that matter, basically, quarterbacks that could matter, and then everyone else is pretty much interchangeable.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I wrote
Do
down,
you have 8 guys that matter?
I have 8 guys that matter. I have Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Tua, Herbert, and then the 2 that are like on the edge is Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow when he's healthy.
Burrow, when he's healthy, isn't on the edge.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So he's on the edge now because he's not healthy. Am I missing anyone? For the quarterbacks that really matter.
Okay, guys that you could make an argument for. I would say Geno, you could argue.
Okay.
if you think about how bad they were supposed to be last year,
Yeah.
you could
What I'm thinking about
could
in this
argue
exercise
off.
is if you have a base team, like say just like a wide receiver group of hell, the Seahawks. We're talking about Geno. That wide receiver group, that offensive line, change out any of these quarterbacks. I think it doesn't really matter. Like does I think it does it. These quarterbacks will make the difference compared to if you put in Mac, Dak, Kirk, Baker, Carr. They're all going to do whatever the system and the wide receivers dictate, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think a way to look at it is you could put these guys in a range where they're adding or subtracting no more than one win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
So, all right, but there's also guys that make a difference in the opposite way.
Yeah. There's negative differences for sure, and I think that's a good point to say. Where I think your win differential changes by 1, maybe 2 wins, no matter what the quarterback out of this little bunches. And
you're not becoming a contender or dropping out of contention.
Yes.
If you make this switch.
Yeah, and I think it starts with Mac, Dak, Kirk, Geno, Purdy.
I think it's 60% of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Goff, Ritter.
Ritter, I don't know.
It's just bad.
Right now, yeah.
I thought promising guys that could make the jump to difference makers were, from what we've seen of CJ Stroud already, Richardson, from what we've seen. And then I've liked what I've seen from Jordan Love so far this season. I think could possibly be difference maker down the road. But yeah, those I just jotted down just a couple. And I thought, the rest of these guys, like Tannehill and Baker.
I think Stafford matters.
Them, I was thinking about him. Because when you look at...
This is like the all-time wise guys debate.
Stafford. When you look at his offensive line, like I think a lot matters on if he's protected or not. But I think if he's protected,
right, yes,
he is a difference maker. And I think really what a lot of, like what I'm thinking about with Allen and Mahomes and even Trevor Lawrence and all these guys I named earlier is that if I have a bad offensive line, I can win with them. If I have bad wide receivers, I can win with them.
Yeah.
If I have a bad running back, I can win with them. And of course, if I have all 3, I probably can't win with them, but at least they're going to give me a fighting chance. Like that's Lamar right now. They don't have an offensive line. They barely have any wide receivers, and they have no running backs. And they're in games or finding ways to win games solely based off the back of Lamar Jackson. If that was Mac Jones in that situation, they would have 3 points all season. Like that's really what I'm getting at here, where that's what I mean by when you replace them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're basically just expanding the Kirk Cousins tier.
Yeah, to like 20 quarterbacks.
You could break it. I mean, I already had like 8 guys in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's basically what
could break it up a little bit, but we could just have one massive tier.
No, and there could literally be like running Kirk Cousins, and I guess you'd have to be a different quarterback comparison, but calling it running Kirk Cousins is funnier than a mid-running quarterback. But yeah, like there's other ways to spice it up. I just think that's more common within this league. And when we come to the end, I don't out of these 8 people that I named, I guess a lot of them are actually all but one are AFC. But so I guess unless there's an NFC guy there, I expect one of these names to be in the Super Bowl. Right? One of those 7 AFC names, one of them going to the Super Bowl. I can't see anyone else doing it. All right. Well, that was my little discussion on quarterbacks. That's all. That's what
I think that's the state of the NFL right now.
Yeah, and it's produced some really
not a lot of great quarterbacks.
It's produced some really bad games. Yeah. Like ugly, like that Lions Falcons we were talking about. That was really
Browns Titans.
Even Colts Ravens was pretty ugly.
But Colts Ravens was hideous.
We didn't talk about in the Chargers game how many fumbles there were. Yeah, I know it says there's only one on each team, but it felt like actually it was that interception. That's what it was. That interception that
What, they just got up in there a bunch of times?
No, the one that got stolen from the wide receiver's hand.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember which team got the interception, but I guess it was the
Wait, was there not one of those in another game too?
Yeah, I think there was. Well, no, it was twice in this game. So the Chargers ripped out.
That wasn't.
They caught the Vikings caught a ball. Number 32 on the Chargers just runs in, grabs and just rips it out. And then like 2 plays later, that catch where the Vikings wide receiver catches the ball and the Chargers corner just also catches it at the same time.
Oh, it happened last night in the Bengals game. I had live bet them to score a touchdown.
Oh, did it also? Okay.
There was a pick that, like, I think it was Boyd had in his hands, and then it was just like, nope.
Oh, brutal.
Was.
All right, how'd Maryland do this week?
Destroyed Michigan State at Michigan State. Oh, we're 4-0. We're cruising into Indiana. Hopefully that's no issue. I'll look at the spread now, but they're pretty poopy. Then they're 14.5. Hopefully that's nice game for us. It's free. I can get my hopes up about that, but it's Parents Weekend, so it should be high. And then the next week is at Ohio State. So if they could be 5-0 going into Ohio State, maybe. Never know. It might be close. It's like if there's a year to do it, it's this year.
Yeah.
Vibes are high right now.
Good.
They look good.
Good. Gamecocks 2-2. They took on Mississippi State for our Parents Weekend this weekend. I didn't go to this one. Didn't feel like it. No,
too fed up.
No, I wasn't even too fed up. It was just like sometimes when it's a night game and it's a couple, like I went to the Athens game last week and then there was a night game before that. So it's just like sometimes the night game's just too long of a day, you know? And by the time I'm sitting in the football game, I'm just like, and the game is 4 hours itself. So it's just a long process. So I decided to watch at home and I don't regret my decision. Gamecocks looked good. Their defense got torched in the air. Their running defense was great, but Will Rogers for Mississippi State threw for almost 500 yards. Yeah. Rattler looked great. He got SEC Offensive Player of the Week again.
Nice.
First time. He got a Player of the Week. He went 18 of 20, 288 yards, 3 tutties. Had some running attack. It wasn't great on the average side. 3.4 yards for average, not great. But they got a touchdown. They actually looked like they were competent moving the ball on the running attack, so that was good. Xavier Legette leads all college football in receiving yards. He continued again. I think he had like 189 yards, 2 touchdowns. This team, when they throw the ball and throw it deep, can really get it going. They still have yet to use Nick Harbour. Non-existent.
I was going to ask him about that.
Not out there. Doty got a catch, though, in case anyone was wondering. Doty was out there.
Boy.
Honestly, what I'm really curious about is why they ran it so much more than they threw it. When Spencer, like 18 for 20 should be a halftime stat. Should be an end of the third quarter stat.
18 for what?
18 for 20. Like if he's throwing that efficiently, why isn't he throwing it 35 times?
Oh, that was the final.
That was the final.
Fine for Rattler?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, if he's throwing it that efficiently, I don't know why even bother with the 3.4 yards a carry on the run game if you're going to be able to throw it and complete it every time. Weird. Weird team, but a win's a win. Much more confident about this win than the Pats win. Coming up, they have Tennessee at Tennessee. Tennessee's in their black uniforms.
The night game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 7:30 night game. Juice Wells is still out. That's going to be a huge loss for the Carolina Gamecocks. But hopefully we can do what we did last year, and we have a stretch coming up where it's Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee bye week, Florida, Missouri. Right now it's 21, 22, and 23 in the AP polls. So huge games ahead. The Gamecocks can end this run 3-0 going into Texas A&M. We're going to be a feared team in college football. Not for the.
It's possible.
Oh yeah, I think it's possible.
Can be feared.
I think I could be feared. I think going into the Clemson game, Clemson should definitely be.
I mean, Clemson's
bad this
Clemson's
year.
down.
Down this year. Look,
Dookie.
I mean, it all depends. My optimism for the next 2 games, of course, all depends on Tennessee. They can take care of business there. I think they're, and I guess it's not even taking care of business. It's shocking.
Yeah, it would be an upset.
Yeah. But I think the spread is 11. 11 and a half.
Not terrible.
Taking the Cox there? 11 and a half?
Sure, why not?
All right, love it.
I want you guys. I want to play you guys in a bowl game.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And if that ever happens,
the real Wise Bowl.
if that ever happens, we're dropping. I don't care where it is. Like, we have to spend as much money.
We'll be there.
Yeah. All right, I think that does it. Right? You got anything? Any leftovers?
No, I don't think so.
Right. I feel like we got in a lot of tangents this episode, but that's okay.
We did, yeah. I feel like usually these Tuesday episodes are pretty cut and dry, but
No, we went on some long tangents.
we just started spewing about the quarterbacks. I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, I know. I didn't tell you about it, and I was just like sitting in class before class, and I was just like, all these quarterbacks are the same. Let me point out the ones that aren't the same.
Oh, I thought you were doing it like during the show. I didn't realize you had a plan before.
Oh yeah, no, but it was like maybe 30 minutes before the show.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope everyone's football team is in a good state. See everyone on Friday. This week we will be there Friday. 4:30 Friday. Check out the Twitter, check out the Instagram. It knows that we know where you're out there if you follow us there and you give us some likes. So we really appreciate it. See everyone on Friday at 4:30.